Hi kids, it's me, your dad. Today is June 5th and I am still in Julian taking care of the voting center here. I just wanted to give you a little bit of a tour. This is the Julian Town Hall. It was built in 1914 right here at the main intersection in Julian. That lot right over there used to be a gas station a long time ago, and the fuel tanks leaked and polluted the water here. A nice little restaurant there. That's the way back down to Ramona, Escondido, and Oceanside. And when the voters come in, this is where they go. Now, normally when we are open, if somebody has a mail-in ballot that they just want to drop off, we would put it in that yellow bag. Otherwise, they would fill out one of these check-in forms, and then they would go over here where we have what we call the electronic poll books, where we can check their registration status. And after we check their registration status and check them in, determine whether or not they can vote a regular ballot, or if they change their address, or if they need to vote provisionally, or on a CVR. In other words, they haven't registered yet. We can register them here. And then we give them their privacy sleeve. Then they go over here to what we call the ballot marking devices. Now, those machines over there are, of course, hooked up to the internet so that we can look them up. But these here are independent machines. We call them ballot marking devices. They are not hooked up to the internet. In fact, you can tell because the clock on there is wrong. Okay, it is not 6:45, it's 6:37. After they make their selections, it prints up on here. They put it, it doesn't remember anybody's vote. At this point, it is completely anonymous. They put their ballot into the secrecy sleeve. And then they come over here where our checkout person, this would be closed up and sealed. They would put their ballot right there in that slot. Then they get the important thing, which is a sticker, and they leave. As the site manager, I'm responsible for supervising the whole thing, and so I tend to sit back here at this table where I have my computer set up and I can read and do other things. And this is pretty much where I hang out all day and take care of problems that pop up. This is an 11-day voting center, and today is, like I said, Sunday. I wanted to do this yesterday, but honestly, we've been working here since last Friday, which was May the 27th, 28th. I can't remember now. Then we opened the poll last Saturday. So today is day 9 of the voting process. We will be open today, tomorrow, and Tuesday will be the last day, and then we shut down on Wednesday. So we will have been working here for 13 days straight. The first Friday when we set up, and then Wednesday when we tear down, those will be relatively short days, 4 hours. Every other day has been 8 hours. Voting day will be 14 hours, minus an hour and a half lunch. So the reason why I wanted to bring all this up is because I'm exhausted. This has been difficult, even though it's easy. I mean, there are absolutely no restrictions on what we can do when there's no voters in here. We've had very few voters. I think we've had a total of 19 come through and actually vote. So in the 8 days that we've been open so far, 19 people have come through. Yesterday was our busiest day. We had 5 voters. We also have a way that we can take this ballot marking device over here, take it out to a car in case we've got a person who can't come in. We can roll that out and take their vote. I had one of those. That was exciting. But the rest of the time, we chat, we can watch our devices, read books, whatever. But even though those activities aren't any different from what I normally do when I don't have anything going on, this has been a really exhausting several days. And I've noticed that my poll workers are starting to get, a little agitated. And so now my job is becoming more and more to try to keep things calmed down. But there's an important lesson in this, and that is that it is really important, and even the industrial psychologists agree. It is important that whenever you are working, that you take a day off every week and do nothing. And that's a biblical concept, okay? You can go back to Genesis chapter 2, after God had created everything. And it says there in Genesis 2, verse 1, "Thus the heavens and the earth and all the host of them were finished. And on the seventh day, God ended his work which he had done, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had done. Then God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because in it he rested from all his work which God has created and made." Now, we, as a society, have always accepted that we needed that day off. We used to get Saturday and Sunday off, but the Sabbath, and part of that is because it's one of the Ten Commandments, right? In Exodus chapter 20, verse 8, God told Moses, "Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord your God. In it you shall do no work, you, nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your male servant, nor your female servant, nor your cattle, nor your stranger who is within your gates. For in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested the seventh day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it." Now, in Deuteronomy 5, Moses was talking to the Israelites, and he repeated the Ten Commandments. But before he started repeating the Ten Commandments, he said this. This is Deuteronomy 5, verse 2. "The Lord our God made a covenant with us in Horeb. The Lord did not make this covenant with our fathers, but with us, those who are here today, all of us who are alive." Now, this is an important passage because it shows that the Ten Commandments were given to the Israelites after they came out of Egypt. It was not given to Adam. It was not given to Noah. It was not given to Abraham. It was not given to Isaac. It wasn't given to Jacob or Joseph or any of the Jews who were in Egypt for the 400 years that they were in slavery there. It was given to the Israelites after God brought them out of Egypt. Another important concept to understand is that in Jeremiah 31, the prophet said, "Behold, the days are coming, says the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, my covenant which they broke, though I was a husband to them, says the Lord. But this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, says the Lord. I will put my law in their minds and write it on their hearts. I will be their God, and they shall be my people. No more shall every man teach his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, Know the Lord, for they all shall know me, from the least of them to the greatest of them, says the Lord. For I will forgive their iniquity, and their sin I will remember no more." And to exemplify the fact that the old law was going to be, the law of Moses was going to be taken away, Jesus comes along, and in Mark 2, verse 23, it says, "Now it happened that he went through the grain fields on the Sabbath. As they went, his disciples began to pluck the heads of grain, and the Pharisees said to him, Look, why do they do what is not lawful on the Sabbath? But Jesus said to them, Have you not read what David did when he was in need and hungry, he and those with him?" That's back in 1 Samuel, by the way. "How he went into the house of God in the days of Abiathar the high priest, and ate the showbread, which is not lawful to eat except for the priests, and also gave some to those who are with him. And then he said to them, The Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. Therefore the Son of Man is also Lord of the Sabbath." So the point in all this is that when God blessed the seventh day and rested and made it holy, set it apart, he did so at the beginning. Really, that's the first command or the first principle that God established for us. And that is that on Saturday, we're supposed to take the day off. In the old law, it was codified so that, there was so that it was clear that it was to be a day of rest and relaxation, a day where you don't think about work, a day where you don't travel, a day where you don't do any of the other things. We know in the stories in Deuteronomy or Numbers, I forget which one, but when the manna would come down and the quail would go out and the Jews could go out and collect the manna, they were only supposed to collect 1 day's worth at a time. If they collected any more, then it would turn into maggots, I think, at the end of the day. So they'd collect 1 day's worth of manna. That was it. Unless it was Friday. On Friday, they could collect enough for 2 days. Right? Why? Because the next day was Saturday, the Sabbath. So on Friday, they collected enough manna and it stayed good all the way through Saturday. So we can see lots of examples on what we need to be prepared to do and the limits of what we should be doing on the Sabbath day. Now, Jesus also said in another passage that, which of you having an ox that falls into a ditch on the Sabbath will not drag the ox out of the ditch. Okay, and Jesus even healed a paralytic on the Sabbath. So doing good, the limits of the Sabbath, Jesus was saying, do not include doing good. Okay, so if you have an opportunity to do good, you don't say, no, I'm not going to do that because it's the Sabbath. Pardon me. That's not what it was intended for. It was intended for us to have a day of rest. Okay, and doing good on the Sabbath, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So that's what Moses was doing, and God was doing with the old law, was helping us to understand what that law meant. Now, the law of the Sabbath, which was the fourth commandment, okay, that law was only for the Israelites. That's what he said in Deuteronomy chapter 2, right? The Lord made this covenant with us, not with our forefathers, but with us who were there at Horeb, at Mount Sinai. So that law was intended only for the Jews. However, it also included anybody who was visiting, or sons and daughters, or whatever. So within the Israelite nation, the law was that you had to keep the Sabbath. But did that annul the original command that God gave back in Genesis chapter 2? No, it just codified it. Now in Jeremiah, so like I said before, it doesn't apply to people who lived before Moses, okay? The law that applied to those before Moses was from Genesis chapter 2. Now Jeremiah 31 is important because that shows that a day would come when the Ten Commandment law, and this is further solidified, this idea was further solidified back in Hebrews chapters 8 through 10. So you can go there to get a greater understanding. But the point is that when Jesus died on the cross, he put to death the old law. So the Ten Commandments, including commandment number 4, which was keep the Sabbath holy, was done away with. Okay, it no longer applies. It doesn't apply to us. Okay, we're not under the Ten Commandments. They've been repeated and expanded, but we're not under them. So the Sabbath law, as it applied to the Jews, no longer applies to us. However, the Sabbath predates the Jews. So are we under a Sabbath law? Yes, in the sense that God blessed the seventh day and made it holy. So I bring all that up because, by the time this is over, I will have worked 13 days straight, okay, and I'm exhausted. And so I really, this kind of thing, even though it's easy, no labor, very gentle, easygoing, it's still work. And it has still exhausted me. Probably next time I'll talk a little bit about the first day of the week, because there's a lot of religions out there that say that Sunday is the Christian Sabbath. The Bible does not support that interpretation. So I want to get into that, but right now I'm past 15 minutes. I promised it would be 15 minutes. Love you guys. Stay good. Love each other. Honor your mother. Honor me. And I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.